Hey, so today I'm going to be telling you about the top 10 shows that you should be watching on Netflix. Because these 10 shows they're very good, they're awesome, they're some of them are very funny, some of them are very dramatic, others are very educational, and it's a very random list of shows that are just awesome all around. And then if you have a subscription, you should totally be wasting your time watching these shows. Okay, so let's get started. First one is Frasier. If you don't know who Frasier is, I think it was in the 90s when it was playing in the 90s and early 2000s. If you are a child, if you are my age, you probably didn't watch it because this was targeted more towards the older generation, maybe like the late 20s, early 30s. But this is a show that you should not be missing because it's freaking hilarious. It's about a psychiatrist. It's about a radio psychiatrist, Fraser, who kind of gives advice to the people that called him, but he lives with his father, and his father is like a blue collar worker, and he is like a, I don't know, like Fraser is like a, high class snob or something like that, but it's very funny. You should totally be watching that show, and I think it has 11 seasons, so you are set for the entire winter if you want to watch that show. It's freaking hilarious. Just the interactions with the blue collar father and Fraser, who is this high class snob, it's awesome. Okay, so the next show the number 2 show that you should be watching on Netflix is Doctor Who. If you don't know who Doctor Who is, it's a British show. I think it started in the 1960s, maybe early, I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't watched the classic version, but I have watched the one that started in the 2000s. And it has 6 seasons currently, and all the seasons are on Netflix right now. And it's a very, very entertaining show. Doctor Who is about let me see, how do I explain this show? It's about a time traveler, and he is an alien. He's a Time Lord, and he time travels, not just around, on Earth, but all over the universe. He has a little space time machine where he can travel, and then he usually goes to Earth, and he has like a companion, usually a girl from Earth, and they just go around the universe, around time, having adventures. And this show is not boring. It's very entertaining, and it has 6 seasons, and I think each episode is about an hour long, so no, it's about 40 minutes long, so you are gonna be set. If you haven't watched this show, definitely give it a try because it's very entertaining. It has a lot of fans, so definitely give it a try. So the next show number 3 that you should be watching on Netflix is Supernatural. Supernatural is about 2 brothers who go around America, the United States, solving like supernatural cases, like taking on supernatural cases. They fight demons, they fight vampires, they fight angels. So it has everything. It has comedy, it has drama, and it has horror. So definitely give it a try. The next show that you should be watching is How I Met Your Mother. Currently, I think there's 7 seasons on Netflix of this show. How I Met Your Mother is hilarious. It is freaking hilarious, and it's about a dad that's telling his children how he met his mother, how he met their mother when he was younger. And it's sort of like he's telling the story in the future, but you see the show is in the past, so you see how the main character meets the mother. And it actually, in the 7 seasons that currently are on Netflix, you never meet the mother. It's a very long story. I mean, 7 seasons. but I think the current season that they are in is the last season, so maybe finally we'll get to meet the mother. But it's just like the story of him and his friends kind of going out in New York, having fun and it's very funny, so definitely give it a try. And it's 7 seasons. It's very entertaining, not boring. Not one single episode of this show is boring. So definitely give it a try if you are, don't have anything else to do. Now, the next show that you should be watching on Netflix is That 70s Show. If you haven't heard of this show, how do I explain the show? Okay, so this show is about a group of friends that hang out on Eric's basement. Eric is like the main character, the main friend. They hang out on his basement, and it's just basically a story of their friendship, of their romances, of their high school kind of like hangouts, and it's just like a high school kind of show, but it's very, very funny. They get high on the basement. It's 70s theme, so you get to see kind of like their interpretation of the 70s, and it's very funny, so definitely check it out. Now, another show that you should be watching on Netflix is Malcolm in the Middle. And again, another comedy, another very funny show that you should be watching. It's not boring, so if you are, if you're bored of watching, some shows on Netflix, because it has so many things, sometimes you don't know what to watch and you end up watching crappy movies. Definitely this is a show that you should be watching on Netflix. I think it has the entire series on Netflix. I think it's about, I don't know how many seasons, but I think it's in these 8, maybe 7, 6 seasons, around that. But it's the entire series. You get to watch from the beginning to end, and it's basically, Malcolm in the Middle is basically about this kid who it's the middle child. He's the middle child, and he's a genius, and basically the rest of his family are not so smart, so he kind of has to struggle with that, and it's very funny. His brothers would always pick on him. He picks on his little brother. It's just like that brother kind of relationship where you fight all the time, and then it's very funny. The mother is like super awesome. She's like this mama, strong woman who kind of has control over her children. It's kind of like an overbearing mother, but it's very funny, the relationship with the mother. And definitely check it out. It's a very well done show. So if you have time, do it. Even if you don't have time, go watch that show, because that show is awesome. So another show that you should be watching on Netflix is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you haven't watched the show, I think it was on when I was a child in the 90s, early 2000s, and I never watched it. I mean, I remember watching like a few episodes here and there, but it never attracted me. But now that I saw it on Netflix, I decided to check it out, and it's a pretty freaking awesome show. I think there's about 5 seasons on Netflix, the entire series. It's if you don't know what Buffy the Vampire Slayer is, it's basically a vampire slayer who hunts demons and vampires and kind of, kills them. And she's a teenager, so she goes to high school, she has friends, and then at night she goes and kills vampires. So definitely it's a pretty interesting show. I haven't seen anything like it since the show. It's not like the vampires of today, like the Twilight vampires. These vampires are ugly. They have faces, and they die when you stab them in the heart. So definitely check it out. It's very entertaining. It does have its funny sides, it has its dramatic sides, but it's always very entertaining. So you're not going to be bored watching this show, and you can watch the entire series on Netflix. So check it out if you have Netflix. Okay, another show that you should be watching on Netflix is Freaks and Geeks. This is a show that I just started watching on Netflix because it was in Netflix, and it looked interesting. And it's basically about this group of friends, about this one girl that befriends like the freaky group of people, and then there's another group of kids that are like the geeks, and it's just kind of like the relationship in high school. It's very funny. It's very well done. It was canceled on its first season, so um, I don't know why it was canceled. I mean, it definitely had promised. It was very entertaining. There's only 18 episodes on Netflix, only the first season, so it's not a complete series, so that's the sad part about it, but it's very well done. It has some pretty good actors in it. It has James Franco and then Jason Segel from How I Met Your Mother. He's very funny. I love him. So definitely check it out. Okay, another show that you should be watching is Scrubs. Scrubs is about kind of like a doctor and his friends, and kind of he doesn't start as a doctor. He starts off as a resident, as an intern, and you just see his career kind of go from intern to doctor. And in the entire series is on Netflix, and it's a very funny show. It is set on a hospital, so you kind of see like the shenanigans that the main character gets into when he's in the hospital. It's very funny, so definitely check it out. It's a comedy. It's only like 20 minutes long. Definitely check it out. Okay, the last show, so my number 10 show that you should be watching on Netflix is How the Universe Works. And this is an educational show. I mean, I had to throw it in here because it's a very cool show. You will learn a lot about the universe watching this show. It has episodes from the Big Bang, black holes, alien galaxies, extreme stars, and then extreme planets and supernovas, and alien solar systems and alien moons. So you definitely, it has a range of episodes. Each episode is about 40 minutes long, and it only has 8 episodes, so definitely check it out. Each episode is very educational, but it's not like the boring education. It's very exciting. You get to see, the universe, and definitely learn a lot in a very entertaining way. So definitely check it out. So those are my top 10 shows that you should be watching on Netflix because they're awesome. They're very entertaining. You will never get bored watching those shows, and it is just epic. There are epic shows that you should be watching, so if you haven't checked them out, definitely do. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to get more recommendations on awesome stuffs on Netflix and other kind of awesome stuff. So definitely see you next time. Bye!